You're watching the Kate Fox Show. I'm Kate Fox, and I am here at the Founders Room at the Paramount in Huntington, New York, and I am speaking with Karen Bella. And Karen is, if you aren't aware, a very gifted singer, songwriter, guitar player, piano player, all-around musician, and she's actually entertaining here this evening.
Yes, thank you so much.
It's been a long time coming. We should have done this a while ago.
It's okay. Everything is divine timing. It's supposed to happen when it's supposed to happen.
I like that attitude.
Yeah.
And that, well, okay, so speaking of divine timing and things happening when they're supposed to happen, you just recovered or are recovering from something that I don't think is so divine.
Well, about 2 months ago, in the end of July, early August, I broke my wrist in my left hand, which is the chord hand, and I had a surgery to put Humpty Dumpty back together again. I've been going through physical therapy. It's been physically painful and also an emotional process, but something that has, I've proven to myself how determined I am. It's forced me to pick up the piano more so than I've ever done before. And it's allowed me to collaborate with musicians and other singer-songwriters that I've never collaborated before. And that's been a wonderful experience.
And let me tell you, I was so impressed with you that you came up with that, because you didn't let your injury stop you. You just sort of rolled with it. I want to say rolled with the punches, but you really, you know, you had so many different guests playing with you that it was brilliant actually to keep you going.
Oh, thank you. I do have to give credit to my friend Jack Morelli. He's the one who recommended. I was basically going to cancel all the gigs that he had me booked for, because he books musicians as well. And he said, well, Karen, why don't you just get somebody to play the guitar for you? And I went, oh, I can do that. And I can sing, they can play, or we can both sing, whoever it is that I work with. And so I can't take all the credit.
But you know what? Okay, you don't have to take all of it, but still, we saw you play here with a guest guitar player.
Yes.
And it was so good.
No, thank you.
You know, it was just, it worked. And you know, I saw different ads for you doing different shows with different people, and it just, tell me if I'm wrong, it felt to me like it sort of opened you up to even more because of the different styles that you were dealing, or the different musical styles of the people you had helping you.
Absolutely. What it does is it takes you as a musician and it challenges you to listen to what the other person is doing, which is very different from what you do. And it allows you to mold yourself to their style, and they mold themselves into your style. And if you make like a tiny mistake, like a little boo-boo, you learn how to cover it together as a team. And I feel that I've learned so much in these past 2 months than I ever have. And some shows were so much fun. Some shows were a learning experience. But I think all in all, they were all positive and all wonderful. And I'm really grateful for everyone who took the time to learn songs that they didn't know. And I'm so appreciative of it. And they also took half the pay, which means they did it because they care,
yeah,
and they did it because they love music. And I am forever grateful for them.
And that's fantastic, because it shows you that not everyone is out just for themselves.
Oh yeah.
You know,
it might feel like it sometimes.
Well, that's the thing, and then you gave us a great lesson, because you experienced it, but you also showed those of us who are fans of yours that, oh my God, the world isn't horrible now. There are good things still happening, you know?
Yeah, within being the belly of the beast, there is like a little tunnel that you can climb out of that belly.
Now, let me ask you something. Now, tonight's your first solo gig?
Yes.
Since I think you might have said that, and I'm sorry, because do you feel like since you had been playing with others, do you think you've changed at all your style, or has it affected you, or are you back to Karen Bella? Does that make sense, the way I'm saying it?
I think that I'm back to myself and my style with a twist.
Okay.
And it might be subtle, and I might look at things differently. It's, for example, when you see a movie, the movie of the hero, he starts in the ordinary world, he gets summoned to do something that he or she might not want to do, and then they go through that experience, and then they come back to that ordinary world, but changed. So I think that this is an example of, I'm going back to what I'm doing, I'm a little changed, because I have to play the guitar differently, just for a period of time until I can hit certain chords comfortably again. And being around musicians, some, like for example, my friend Stuart Marcus, he's amazing on the guitar, and it's inspired me to play more like that. It's gonna take time, but it's inspired me, and I've started some guitar lessons and recommendations and advice, and I think that all in all, I will probably be a little bit better technique-wise. The same thing happened to me with my voice. I did lose my voice, or had vocal difficulties for about a year, from 2016 into the end of 2017. And that's because of acid reflux and incorrect technique. I hate admitting it. But I've learned so much from my vocal coaches, one in particular, and his name is Ron, and we worked really hard to figure out what the issue is and how to correct it. And I'm a much better singer from a technique aspect, and I'm much more connected to my voice than I ever have been before.
That's great. And you know what a lot of people don't realize, well, even because you just said you had to relearn some stuff, even what the people who you're a natural talent, even if it comes to you easily and you're good, sometimes there are things you're not realizing that you should be doing, because you do have that talent naturally. So it sort of pulled you back in so you could grow even more with what you were already born with.
Oh,
right?
Yes, thank you. And I'm very blessed. It's something that I've worked very hard on. It's a constant journey. You are constantly going through different waves of experiencing what you can do, what you can't do, what you can improve on. And sometimes you completely doubt yourself. And you have days where you're like, oh, I'm horrible. And then you have days where you're like, I'm okay. So I try to be as positive as possible, and to really appreciate just the general gift that that God has given me, or whatever you believe in, that He has given me, the gift of song, the gift of music, and to be able to share it with others and for others.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. And I know we're looking forward to you sharing your music tonight. And I know you have a set to start, so we're going to take a break, and then we're going to circle back when you have another break, and watch what else she's got to say.
Your pretty blue eyes wore a vacant disguise when you went away, and the hole that's inside eating me alive, keeping me awake. I swear on my life I'll never see color as vibrant as I did, as I got to see. Behind cement to fill the cracks in the walls that kept the secret of your beauty. The little lies that kept in stride on the index page. In the haunted long nights that we got to find the difference of our age. And want the others to know I've got to fit the angles, hooked it up, your features in every way. Dear, all my love is to know, I can see the ups and downs and in and outs and in betweens and hey, oh, you're not a cowboy, but if you were, you'd be Billy the Kid. You're not an outlaw, but if you were right, your pistol sweet. Give me a shot at Jack, honey, honey. Give me a shot at you. Give me a shot at Jack, honey, honey. Give me a shot at you. Stepped outside in your black tie, led me to the gate, into the world that you traveled in and the one that we'd create. I wanted to know if you were half as good as you implied, and show me how you did and stayed. And would this corrupt my mind to get to the head of time as we accelerate? Ooh, you're not a cowboy, but if you were, you'd be Billy the Kid. You're not an outlaw, but if you were, I'd be your pistol switch. Give me a shot at Jack, honey, honey. Give me a shot at you. Give me a shot at Jack, honey, honey. Give me a shot at you. Will it be all? Will it be all that we get to do? Got the bunny at all, Mr. International, almost perfect too. So give me a shot at Jack, honey, honey. Give me a shot at you. Give me a shot at Jack, honey, honey. Give me a shot at you. You're not a cowboy, but if you were, you'd be Billy the Kid. You're not an outlaw, but if you were, I'd be a pistol switch. Ooh, give me a shot at Jack, honey, honey. Give me a shot at you. Give me a shot at Jack, honey, honey. Give me a shot at you. Give me a shot at you. Give me a shot at you. Thank you, guys.
Hey, this is Billy Mira, and you are watching The Kate Fox Show.
And we're back, and we just witnessed, we're back with Karen Bella. And Karen, you just did actually 2 fantastic sets.
Oh, 3. Oh,
Was it
was
3?
one of them not good?
No, I lost count. It was 3. I didn't count properly. You did, everything you played was wonderful. How
Thank
about
you.
that? Oh my God, you're right. I'm not perfect.
It's all good.
But oh my gosh, you were so, but again, you're a wonderful musician.
Thank you.
And everyone had such a great time.
Thank you.
And it's so nice to see you working everything that you have. Really. You did keyboards, you did nice stuff with your bad wrist. There's the war wound. And what a great night.
Thanks. Man, that's awesome. I'm so happy. I'm so happy people came out. I'm so happy this place is has such a great vibe.
It does have a great vibe.
And I'm happy you all enjoyed everything.
Oh, we did.
Thank
we
you.
did. And I have to tell you though, so while we were talking earlier and as I'm watching you, what I realized I didn't ask you is, when did you start doing music?
I started singing, well, studying to sing when I was 9 years old. Prior to that, I was always singing around the house since I was told like 1.5 years old. Yeah. And I think that that's really cool to hear something like that.
Yeah, it is.
But throughout my childhood, in school, into junior high, high school, after high school, I took a little bit of a break from school, and then going to college, I went to school for music at Five Towns College.
Okay.
And I've just always been involved in music or acting or some type of art. I haven't really gone full throttle with music till I hit my mid-20s, because I didn't understand what I needed to do. I always thought everybody does things for you because you can sing, but you actually, it doesn't work that way.
I'm sorry for
Right?
laughing, but it's a nice thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a nice thought.
But this is for anybody who's wondering how do I get started? What do I do? You got to do a lot of stuff yourself. It's ideal to learn an instrument, know your songs, be a hustler, be a pusher. Just go into people's faces and just go, hey, listen to me. Or, you just got to do it.
Or in layman's terms, you have to work for it. Right?
Yeah, you have to work on your
it's-
artistic skills, your
Right?
personality skills, your business skills, your networking skills. It's a lot of stuff.
And the thing is, not only do you have to practice and hone your talent, you have to present your talent. You have to market your. So it's different from other businesses, because really you're it. I mean, you can find a manager, right?
Yes.
You can find promoters, whatever, but for the most part, you are the one who promotes your product, which is you.
Yes,
Right?
you are CEO of fill in the blank. And when you start thinking from that term, you don't go, oh, am I being too egotistical or too prideful? Or
No.
you actually have to be shameless and go, hey, buy my stuff. Hey, go to my website. Because that's what you want people to know who you are. They're not going to know you with you sitting in your room and playing to a wall. I mean, today we kind of have to do more live streaming than live shows, but once that's over, and prior to that, you really have to put yourself in front of people. And it's scary, but it's the only way.
And then, but you just said something so key, because listen, we all have, I'll say, doubts or moments
Yep.
of weakness, but as a performer, it doesn't matter what your doubts are. If you really want to do it, here I am.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely. Hey, if you want it, do everything you can to get it. Do it now. You have nothing to lose.
That's exactly right. And
Oh no! My money is running away! So I just did a show and my tip jar flipped over off my little table. Thank you, I appreciate that.
I didn't realize. I hope you're still. Oh, good. Charlie is still filming.
We will protect
Because
the tip jar.
here's. Wait, is there? Okay. Because
I'll
what
take
you-
leaves.
What you just witnessed is, because performers right now in the time of COVID are not permitted to. Venues don't charge. Don't. I'm trying to say it properly. I was going to say don't charge cover charge, but that still makes sense, right?
Yeah.
They're not permitted to take cover charges, and they're not. I think that we're allowed to advertise now, right? Has that changed?
I'm not 100% sure, but the original plan was to not make music a reason for people coming to
It's
establishments or venues. It has to be
incidental.
incidental. Like, oh, it's like, oh, you're coming to have dinner? Oh, by the way, there's music in the corner over there, but they're like 12 feet away.
Right.
So it's just part of the dining experience. The cover charge thing, I don't know, that doesn't make any sense, but that's how a lot of businesses make money. So I think that in Buffalo, a judge said something that by getting rid of cover charges and businesses being able to promote live music is unconstitutional. So I
Yes,
believe
something-
at least there is some type of movement that is heading toward a more positive direction.
which is great. However, what you just witnessed is now performers who this is what they do. This is their livelihood. This is what they have trained for.
Yes.
And now performers are forced to say put out the hat.
But yes,
Right? I mean, and it's which you're well worth it and well deserving, but you shouldn't have to put out the hat.
yes.
And so what we have on film now is your hat blew off, and we just ran to catch whatever tips came in because this is what performers
I
are reduced to at
appreciate
this
that.
point. I mean, and I hate to say it in that way, but and I don't want to highlight it, but I think it's quite pertinent to what's going on
Yes.
right now. Because you have well earned your keep, if you will,
Thank you.
but you have to still have your hat out.
Yeah, and you know what? That's okay. We all do the same thing. We all go to work, we make money. Fortunately, I get to do what I love to do, so it doesn't feel like work. And on top of that, I'm really grateful that people go, I really love and respect what you do. Here's this amount. Or when I'm selling my CDs at live shows. By the way, you can go to KarenBella.com and I know what I'm doing.
Thank you.
You can go to KarenBella.com and you can go to all the links are provided where you can hear my music. It's on iTunes, Spotify, everything. I almost said Netflix. It's not on Netflix.
We'll
but
work on that.
Yeah, we're working on licensing deals and publishing deals.
And now, your music? Do you have merchandise available
I
on
do.
your website?
I do. If you go to Bandcamp, which is also, there's a link available on KarenBella.com on the top menu. You can order t-shirts, posters, CDs. If you order the whole bundle, you do get a little bit of a discount, and I can send it to you. And or you could get it at my shows whenever they are live. I think the things are starting to dwindle down a little bit,
Well,
but
there's a little more live stuff going on. Who knows? It changes
Yeah.
every day, right?
mm,
But if you can get to a live show, you really should. However, if you cannot, where do we go?
to KarenBella.com.
I'm sorry, what?
Wait, what? KarenBella.com? Well, especially now, while there still are shows, I would love for you to come out because I'm playing the guitar again. And it's like the most exciting thing, and it's my bionic wrist is all right. And I'm so grateful for my doctor. He's amazing. Dr. Hockwald
Dr.
Thank you.
Hockwald. We love you, Dr. Hockwald.
in Huntington.
But you really, I mean, you put on a great show, and it's so nice. And listen, we love the show we saw you do. You did it with Chelsea, our friend
Yeah,
Chelsea
I love her.
Takami. But we saw you do that, and you had her. She was playing guitar.
Yes.
But tonight it was such a treat to see you being able to do. And listen, if we were in the audience, we didn't see if there were any deficits, if you had any issues, or if you had. And I'm not saying you did. I'm just saying it was. That sounded so stupid. It's
I
not.
know I
even
got
funny.
issues, but
It was nice to see you playing the guitar. Is what I was trying to say
Thank
in
you.
the dumbest way possible.
well, I'll say that it is difficult to play certain chords, but once I'm warmed up enough, it gets easier. There are certain songs I stay away from right now. Sometimes my hand doesn't feel like itself, and so it doesn't feel like my hand, and sometimes it does. It's a process. It's going to take a little bit more time, but I didn't think 2 months after the surgery I would be playing.
It's huge, and it's wonderful that you were able to, and that you are able to.
Yeah, thank you, God.
But it's what you were born to do.
Yeah, I do believe so, and as time goes on, I acknowledge it more, and I'm so hopeful that I can continue to do it for the rest of my life. Like, I want to wear diapers on stage. That's how long I want to do it for. But I'm not gonna tell anybody I'm wearing diapers when I'm in my 90s playing the guitar, right?
No, we don't.
No, I'm not gonna say it.
She's never ever gonna wear diapers. It's just an analogy.
It's an yes. Don't take things so literally. But the point is like, you look at someone like an Elton John. He was doing his farewell show till how old is he? Like 70 something?
I've lost track. We have Elton John, we have the Stones, we have
And they're still rocking.
at Motley Crue was going to come. They're a little bit younger, but you know they were going to do another final tour. We have Kiss. They're older than the hills. I love you guys. I love all of you. I'm not, but still, you're old. I'm old. It's okay. And so that's what you want to do,
Yeah.
basically. You want it because it's what you love and it's what you were born to do, and it's your profession.
Yes. And we all know that businesses in general are difficult. The entertainment industry is very, very difficult. There's a lot of stress on women as to how you look, how old you are, blah, 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 blah. But I think it's really important to go, those things don't matter. I'm still going to do what I want to do and hope that the audience grows with me and loves what I do. And it's really about continuing to be positive, staying true to yourself, believing that you can do it, even when you go through phases of absolute decimation and doubt, which I go through constantly. It's a process, it's a wave, and every artist I think goes through it, every person goes through it. And you just have to accept that that's the journey and hope everything goes well.
I have to tell you, your attitude, the thing, and when we were speaking earlier, just the way you present your philosophy, just the way you present yourself, forget about the performing for a minute. It is so refreshing, and it is just so, gosh, it's nice. It's nice to hear, because it's a whole different kind of vibe that you're presenting, because it's who you are.
Yes.
And I just have to say, I so greatly appreciate it. And I appreciate what you're telling us. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I appreciate what you do.
I appreciate what you do, that you give artists and people a chance to say something and that you put it out there, that you let us speak and say what's on our minds, not just behind a typewriter, well, we don't use typewriters, excuse me, behind
I have a Smith
keyboard.
Corona typewriter in my closet. It's okay. Go
No,
on.
I'm reading a book about Tom Hanks because I love Tom Hanks and he's all about
yes,
typewriters.
yes.
He loves typewriters, so I'm like, I constantly I'm always thinking about him because of the book. So he's a big typewriter guy. That's why I'm like typewriter. Anyway,
And
yes.
we're being cut off now because we've gone too long apparently. So I want to say thank you so much for talking to us. Ladies and gentlemen, check out Karen Bella.